Ukraine filed a lawsuit with the UN International Court in The Hague on the third day of the full-scale invasion of Russian troops into Ukraine. Already on March 16, 2022, the court ordered Russia to stop military actions, the stated purpose of which was supposedly to prevent genocide in the Luhansk and Donetsk regions. The Kremlin ignored the judge's decision. Now the case is at the stage when the Ukrainian side is waiting for a decision that the case within the framework of the Genocide Convention and therefore consideration of the claim in essence is possible.
Ukraine filed a very creative lawsuit. It says that Russia violated the Convention on the Prevention of Genocide by launching aggression against Ukraine, justifying it with accusation that Ukraine committed genocide. That is, what we are proving is that Ukraine did not commit any genocide in Donbass, as the Russian Federation says. In this case, we are not yet trying to prove that Russia committed genocide against Ukraine. Our focus is that we did not do this, and accordingly, Russian aggression has no legal basis.
Although the decisions of the UN Court are rather symbolic in nature, they do not have any enforcement force. Kyiv will be able to use the positive decision in practice, experts are sure. The International Court of Justice is the highest judicial body in the world. Therefore, a victory in court will increase Kyiv's chances of receiving reparations. In addition, the one case will strengthen Kyiv's position in the negotiation processes.
The point justice is one of the components of Volodymyr Zelensky's peace formula, and when we talk about justice, we talk about reparations, about compensation for damage, and we also talk about punishing the perpetrators. And the highest form of punishment will be the creation of an international tribunal for the crime of aggression, and this tribunal should judge the members of the Security Council of the Russian Federation who decided to start the war.
This is not the first lawsuit by Ukraine against Russian international courts. In June 2023, the consideration of Kyiv's claim against Moscow for financing terrorism in the Donbass and discrimination against the Crimean Tatar population in temporarily occupied Crimea reached the merits hearings and the International Court of Justice. Since 2019, the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry has been pursuing 2 cases against Russia at the World Trade Organization and at the Permanent Court of Arbitration. Another 4 cases are being considered by the European Court of Human Rights.
Each court, in fact, has its own specifics. For example, in the European Court of Human Rights, we prove precisely that Russia violated the European Convention on Human Rights, directly human rights in Ukraine. In the International Court, we show that Russia, in particular, violated the Genocide Convention, and we talk about the responsibility of Russia as a state as a whole. In the International Criminal Court and in the tribunal that we want to create, we will no longer condemn Russia as a state, but specific individuals, for example, Vladimir Putin, or Shoigu, or Lavrov.
Despite the fact that Russia is a permanent member of the Security Council and has the right of veto, Moscow will not be able to influence the court's decision, experts are sure. The Kremlin also does not have support among other UN member countries.
Russia is in international diplomatic isolation, and even the fact that the Russian Federation is a permanent member of the UN Security Council will not help it in any way in the UN International Court. After all, the International Court is an independent institution of the United Nations, and it is significant that 32 countries took the side of the plaintiff, Ukraine, in this process that we are talking about, but not a single country took the side of Russia.
In addition, Ukraine continues to work on the creation of an international tribunal where the highest military political leadership of Russia, those who are guilty of the unleashed war, will be in the dock. The first steps have already been taken. In July, the International Center for the Prosecution of the Crime of Aggression against Ukraine began work in The Hague. The discussion about the format of the future tribunal between Kyiv and international partners continues. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Larisa Zubenko, UATV News.